So, good morning everyone. This is Gokul Manigandan. This is my fourth and final journal club presentation. And the title of my presentation for this week is Organ on a Chip based on Microfluidic Technology for Drug Discovery. To get on to the introduction, animal testing plays a crucial role in predicting pharmacokinetics as a preclinical test in drug discovery. The efficacy and toxicity of a drug candidate in human body are predicted based on the information which is previously obtained on animal testing. We all know this, but due to some differences in predictions between human and experimental animals has led to abandonment of these some compounds prior to the clinical trials as well. So currently, in vitro tests with human-derived cells are used as an alternative to that of animal testing. But these cell-based assays are an effective means for only preliminary screening, such as cytotoxicity. But however, these methods still have some problems, such as cells cultured using petri dishes and multiple plates may markedly lose their responsiveness. So, in this decade, organ on a chip based on microfluidic technology has been proposed as a novel cell-based assay tool in micro total analysis system. At the beginning of this research, organ on a chip technology was quite far from practical use, but in recent years, however, large-scale research grants at the national level have been allocated to these research projects. So, microfluidic technology meets cells. Microfluidic devices can be used for chemical reactions and analysis in microchannels and microstructures, which are fabricated by semiconductor microfabrication technology. So, this technology, that is microfluidics or lab on a chip, has been coined in the year 1990. So, in general, cell line cultured in vitro have been largely inactivated and lack physiological functions. This phenomenon not only applied to this, it also occurs in primary cultured cells as well. It is actually extremely difficult to maintain cellular function for prolonged periods, even though the functions are normal immediately after harvest. So, it is difficult to maintain the function of the cells over a longer period of time. In conventional methodology, cells are cultured in semi-static environments, where an application of experimental compound of cells is only dependent on diffusion. But on the other hand, in vivo cells obtain oxygen and nutrients via blood flow. It also receives chemical stimulation and physical stimulations as well, so such as stretching and shear stress from that other surrounding environment. So such differences between in vivo and in vitro morphology and environment might be the reasons for loss or deactivation of cellular functions. Recent advances in microfabrication and cell engineering and imaging technologies have led organ on a chip to become an innovative technology. It is capable of reproducing physiological cell behaviors by means of in vitro methods. So indeed, in the past few years, a substantial number of research grants have been investigated in organ on a chip projects from National Institute of Health, Food and Drug Administration, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency in the USA, Framework Program in European Union, Japan Agency for Medical Research and Development in Japan. This investment also show the magnitude of expectations for the research related to organ on a chip technology. Next, organ on a chip. So far, micro total analysis system researchers have proposed organ on a chip devices that reproduce various behaviors of various organs and tissues. Various behaviors of tissues such as lung, liver, kidney, gut. An overview of all these devices is beyond the scope of this review, but I'll try to explain as much as I can. Next, the lung on a chip. The most famous organ on a chip is the lung. It is known as the breathing lung. It is developed by a scientist named Ingvar at Harvard University. This device actually has two layer structures. It is separated vertically by microporous membrane, which is made up of stretchable silicones. They cultured alveolar epithelial cells on the upper surface of the membrane, and on the lower side they cultured vascular endothelial cells and used flowing air and the culture medium respectively in order to replicate the lung structure on a microfluidic device. The physiological expansion and contraction movements of the alveolus during respiration were mimicked by changing the internal pressure of the channel on both the sides of the main channel. Next, a toxicity test are also used. A toxicity test was done by using nanoparticles that demonstrated the amount of nanoparticle uptake into the blood vessel of the device. It was increased by stretching movements of the membrane. Similar results were obtained in an animal test conducted under similar conditions. This is how a lung on a chip works. You can actually see there is a two side chambers. In the center there is a epithelium and endothelium layer, in between which the air circulates. By differentiating the air entering the side chambers, we are able to mimic the process which go on to the lung. Next one is a liver on a chip. Since liver is the principal organ related to drug metabolism, it is extremely important to accurately predict its metabolic activity and toxicity during the drug discovery process. So, in this, three-dimensional scaffolds were combined with a cell retaining filter and structural support in a cell culture chamber to allow perfusion of a culture medium across the top of the array. And through that 3D cell aggregates, a cell culture chamber was designed so that the flow rates that meets the estimated value of cellular oxygen consumption as well. In order to investigate the drug responses, it is also important to maintain the polarized transport ability of hepatocytes, bile canaliculi, and hepatic cord. It is very important. So next comes the drug metabolism. A drug metabolism test by using carboxy dichlorofluorescent diacetate, that is CDFDA, as a model metabolite was performed as an application of drug response evaluation. CDFDA is metabolized to a fluorescent product, that is carboxy dichlorofluorescent, that is CDF, by hepatocyte esterase, and it is excreted into the bile canaliculi. When culture media containing CDFDA was perfused in blood vessel flow channel, excretion of CDF into the bile canaliculi continuously formed between the cells was observed. So this result is actually a very good example showing that in vivo functions such as metabolic pathways maintains a shape and polarity of the tissues. It can be reproduced by mimicking its microstructures. This is how liver on a chip looks like. As of you saw, there are three things which is very important in order to make this possible. That is hepatocytes, bile canaliculi, and duct. Series of ducts, that is hepatic cords. So hepatocyte is nothing but, as you know, it is the main parenchymal tissue of the liver. It makes almost up to 55 to 65% of liver's mass, and bile canaliculi is nothing but it is a thin tube which collects the bile secreted by that of the hepatocytes. Next one is the hepatic cord. It is nothing but that is a place where bile canaliculi empties onto the series of ducts which is known as hepatic cord. In this picture, actually, we can see hepatocytes are gradually self-organized, and it forms a bile canaliculi along that of hepatic cord-like structure. The perfusion flow of the cells can be seen in this as well. There is inflow and the outflow. The next one is kidney on a chip. The kidney is very important organ which is responsible for metabolism and excretion. In the simplest kidney on a chip devices, Madden Darby canine kidney epithelial cells, that is MDCK, and human kidney 2 cells were adhered to the bottom of the surface of a microchannel and loaded with the tough physiological shear stress. The authors actually showed increased cell thickness and expansion of sodium and potassium ATPase and promotion of cilia formation on the cells as well. So these data actually suggest that physiological behavior of kidney derived cells can be replicated by using appropriately controlled shear stress load. So it all depends on the shear stress load that is applied on that of the chip. So to model the reabsorption function of renal tubules, two-layered kidney on a chip devices with porous membranes were proposed. In these studies, physiological responses related to changes of sodium concentration and osmotic pressure of apical channel were reproduced. To mimic more physiological accurate structure, a microfluidic device that reproduces tubular structure of renal tubule incorporating a tubular hollow fiber membrane into a microchannel has been proposed. In this, the activity were mimicked by means of introducing the hormones such as vasopressin and aldosterone. This is how a kidney on a chip look like. The next is a body on a chip. The humans are composed of organs and tissues possessing multiple physiological roles and can be assumed to represent a kind of complex system. So, to realize accurate pharmacokinetic predictions, scientists actually developed a body on a chip device which reproduces the various physiological parameters such as organ volume ratios, blood flow rate on the device. So we must consider that these body on a chip devices are not capable of reproducing all the biological responses. Practically, it is not possible as of now, but in the future it may be. The significance of a body on a chip is not simply to create sophisticated miniature human bodies, but they are to discover unknown responses. It can be observed only in real-time interaction between organs. So in other words, body on a chip technology needs to be used with pharmacokinetic models to predict unknown mechanisms or phenomena. So these are the issues related to practical application of organ on a chip. We have introduced trends in research related to organ on a chip and body on a chip. But however, we realize that currently these devices cannot be used directly for drug discovery as an alternative to animal testing. There are still issues to be overcome in both engineering and as well as other of biological technologies. To satisfy these requirements, we need to develop not only observation technologies which can evaluate multiply biological responses, but also biochemical technologies which can perform biochemical analysis in the microspace of microfluidic devices in parallel with that of organ on a chip studies. So we've come to the conclusion of the studies. Organ on a chip and body on a chip can be effective tools in drug discovery, but unfortunately there are no concrete examples as of now in which organ on a chip technologies have been fully utilized in actual drug discovery process. For the practical use of this technology, active and organic collaboration of among different research fields such as medical, pharmaceutical, biological and engineering sciences is necessary. So thank you all for your kind cooperation. For any doubts, please let me know in the comment section below. I will try to explain it briefly. I will also be uploading the PDF documents of this article, so please refer on to that as well. Thank you.